Alright guys, Hayzink here, welcome back to the channel, or welcome to the channel if you're new here. Today I'm going to be taking a look at a new game that I'm currently in the closed beta for. It's a game that I have been looking forward to and I've been wanting to get into the beta to play, and I'm now finally in and I'm now able to share this with you guys here on the channel. I recorded the first 10 minutes basically earlier on so that I could go over my first impressions of the game, give you guys a little bit of a peek at what's coming up, and then obviously going forward we'll have a lot more content on this game as we progress before the global launch, and then when the global launch comes out you guys will have some experience of it, know a bit of what to do, and I'll also be able to bring you a better level of quality to the content that I put out for this. So I'm going to go start playing the footage that I recorded earlier and kind of talk you through what's going on and things like that. When you jump in, you get to create your own character, which is quite good because it gives you that little bit of a personal touch to it. You know what it was like with some other games. If you create your own character, you sometimes feel a little bit more of an attachment to them than you do if you're just summoning for characters who maybe you don't know yet because you've not experienced the AFK world. Now, this isn't a sequel to AFK Arena or anything like that. It's more a game set within the same universe, okay? So if you're familiar with the other title, you may know some of the characters, some of the backgrounds and things like that, but this is a whole new game that is going to expand upon its own story, its own mythos and stuff like that. So you don't have to have had any experience whatsoever with that other title. This is its own thing that stands on its own 2 feet. Not quite sure why I went with this sort of a elfish look, but I decided this morning, you know what, I want to be an elf, so I decided that's exactly what I was going to do, and I created my character in this sort of a green-eyed, grey-skinned elf vein. So yeah, that's what I went with. Now, jumping in straight away, I realised that when I recorded this on my phone earlier, it hasn't captured the audio, but these are voiced, okay? When you do these cutscenes and stuff like that, they are actually voiced when you're playing the game. Now, normally I skip a lot of these things when I am kind of doing these type of first impression videos and stuff like that, but for this one, because I'm interested in the story and I'm interested in the characters, I thought, you know what, I'll let it play out a little bit, because then you guys can get a bit of a feel for the opening and you can see the kind of interactions. Now, it is an idle game, okay? I will say that straight away. However, almost immediately you can kind of see it doesn't follow the, what I want to call, traditional idle formula. And what I mean by that is, like, if you've ever played idle games, you'll know that AFK sort of I want to say popularised the genre, and everything that's come out since is more or less a clone, you know? You jump in, you do the exact same things, you do a couple of things, all the menus, everything are all delivered in the exact same way. And what you can see from this game straight away is it's not a menu driven game, it's a player driven game. So you're actually exploring the world, you're moving around, you're interacting with the environments. You've got a completely different kind of play style, you know? You are playing it more like a traditional turn-based RPG, as you're selecting your characters, you've got a movement grid, you've got an attack grid, and you can actually play the game more or less, you know. With a lot of idle titles, I think you'll know by now if you've played them, you more or less click portraits and everything plays out around you on screen, which is fine if that's what you're looking for. Whereas this is, to me at least, delivering a more hands-on experience, but not necessarily as hands-on as something like an ARPG, which does require a lot of time investment. With this, you're still going to continue to grow offline, you're still going to be able to level up your characters while maybe you've not got time to play, you know, which is a great appeal to people like me and many others who've got a lot on their plates, busy lives, families and that type of stuff. So you don't necessarily feel like you're being left behind if you simply don't have time to play much that day, because you're still going to continue to accrue your rewards and grow your account, which again is a great turn on for me because I wanted something a bit different. However, at the same time, I didn't want to have to dedicate my life to playing a single game on my mobile phone. So with this game, I've got the attachment of knowing the characters because I did play the other game, and it is a kind of game that I know that I want to play. Now, if anyone's been following my content lately, they'll know that I kind of wanted to play a game that was both owned and developed by the same publisher and developer. And this is what we've got with this in Lilith Games. Now, I'm going to be talking in another video about ways that they've been listening to the community, but I've got a history. I've played Dislight, and to be honest, I'm not going to lie about it. When Dislight came out, there was a lot of things that I wasn't happy with. There was things that I thought they could do better. And if you play Dislight now, it's a completely different game. Like, they revamped almost everything that I thought needed revamped. It's far more free-to-play friendly, and it is a lot more accessible to players. The same thing happened with AFK. There was a lot of feedback from players that Lilith implemented and they worked on to make the game a more rewarding experience, and they are completely invested in this brand. This is their brand. They've developed this from the ground up. So this is a game that they, as developers, want to succeed. So as a player, that is something that's going to put me, and potentially any of you guys looking to play it, in a good position, because they want to keep their player base happy. They want to keep their player base engaged. So it means that in future, things like bugs, patches and stuff like that, you can expect to see them coming along and improving the game. But as we move along here, I know I'm talking quite a lot, but as we move along here, you can see that you've got these, although this is like the tutorial, right? You've got a linear path that you've got to follow, but there is exploration to an extent. You can see the potential for pathways where you can maybe break away and explore, maybe find more loot and stuff like that. That's the type of thing that I'm looking forward to in the future, and it's kind of what's going to make this game a little bit better for me than maybe something that I'm playing at the moment like Street Fighter, because although I enjoy that game, you kind of do the same thing all the time. With this, I can already see that certain characters are going to have certain points that they're going to excel over other characters. If I use one character before I use the other character, I'm maybe going to do more damage, I'm maybe going to clear a boss. You know, it's experimentation and stuff like that that I'm interested in with games like this, and this definitely looks set to deliver that. Visually, it's a striking game. It's got its own art style, but it's kind of, how do I put this? It's kind of get that fantasy aesthetic while still having a layer of that kind of Pixar-y type cartoony aesthetic, which works very well on games like this, to be honest. It's not pushing your phone or your PC too hard, because this can be played on PC. The game is in beta at the moment. It's in closed beta, but there is still some spaces available, so if you go and look, you may well be able to get yourself in and try the game out for yourself, you know. You might find that it's something that you enjoy, but for me, I'm going to continue to kind of bring content onto the channel. As I play and learn the game, I'll be going through the stages, showing you guys what you can expect. Now obviously it is a beta right now, so some things may change in the future, but what I'm going to talk about in the next video is the most recent patch, and just kind of highlight to you guys just how rewarding it is for players when they do make changes, and the fact that they don't forget about the players who have been playing, which is pretty awesome. And the fact that they're also listening to a lot of feedback and they're implementing a lot of things that they are being given as feedback to make sure that by the time they actually bring the game out to you on general release, a lot of the things that maybe weren't quite as tight as they wanted it to be will be by the time it's in the hands of the general player base. But anyway, I'm going to continue more videos in this. I'm really looking forward to covering that. Hopefully you guys will be interested in watching it and picking it up. I've been Hayzink, and you know what? I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.